Hey, it's Sekaar with another build video. Today, I'm going to be showing you my MagDK build for the Blackwood chapter. Before we get started, you guys know the deal. If you want to subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate it. It's free, and it lets me know that you're enjoying the content. I'm going to be posting build videos regularly, posting montages, stuff like that. So if you guys want to sub to the channel, I'd really appreciate it. Alright, let's get started. Our front weapon is going to be the Vadishon Perfected Inferno Staff in the Sharpen trait with the weapon and spell damage enchant. This is going to give you a lot of free damage just by casting a single skill. It's going to be a nice dot that you get on the enemy for 10 seconds. So being able to just apply this pressure just after hitting one button is going to really help your pressure on any kind of enemy in general. And then on our back bar is going to be the Gloomgraze Sword in the Powered trait. This is going to increase your healing using Powered. And what Gloomgraze does is it gives you max health, 4% healing taken, another line of max health, and then when you take damage, you become a living shadow for 10 seconds, causing you to heal for 2k every 2 seconds, and you gain major evasion. So you're going to have your area attack damage reduced by 20%. So that's kind of huge for your survivability and your tankiness. Getting that 20% down is going to be really huge. So that's such a nice little bit of tankiness that you get from that. And then on top of that, it's only a 10-second downtime, and you're in fights for a long time. So only having 10 seconds is really nice, and having that heal every 2 seconds is really going to help your survivability as well. Then your shield is going to be Gloomgrace in the Sturdy trait. And then you're also going to be only using these poisons on the back bar. It's going to help your sustainability and also your damage as well. Having that double dot poison, and also both of them restores your healing as well. So just getting that extra little bit of health back is going to be a huge little bit of a heal over time that it will help in a long run in a long sustained fight against multiple enemies. And then all of your body pieces are going to have the prismatic enchants on them, as you can see. And then we're going to start at the top with our helmet. We're going to have a heavy Bloodspawn reinforced helmet. Our chest piece is going to be Gloomgrace as well in the heavy impen. Our shoulder is going to be medium Bloodspawn and reinforced. And if you don't know what Bloodspawn does, you get a line of stamina recovery. But the two piece is going to be when you take damage, you get a 6% chance to generate 13 ultimate, increasing your physical and spell resistance by 3,600 for 5 seconds. Sorry. So having that little bit of extra resistances, and on top of that, getting ultimate, and it can happen every 5 seconds, guys. It's basically an ulti generator. It happens all the time. I love it. Getting that 6% chance is actually you get it more often than you think. You take damage a lot when you're in PvP. So I definitely like Bloodspawn on this build. It lets you be able to be a lot more tankier, and you can also dish out a lot more ultimates. And then our other 5-piece set that we're going to be using is his sap. What his sap does is it gives you a line of health, spell damage, another line of max magic, and then the 5-piece is after being hit by a disabling effect, immobilization, or snare, you heal for 2k every 1 second for 5 seconds. So that's a 10k heal over 5 seconds. And it can't stack, but it can apply every second. So you're getting hit by disabling effects, immobilizations, or snares constantly in PvP. Constantly. So this is going to have a nearly 100% uptime when you're in a long and drawn out fight. So our waist piece is going to be in the impen trait, by the way. And his sap is a light set. So light Hissap impen waist, light Hissap reinforced hands, heavy Gloomgrace impen legs, and then light Hissap impen feet. And then our jewelry is going to look like this. We're going to have all 3 of our jewelry pieces in the Swift trait. And then our necklace is going to be Gloomgrace. And all 3 of our jewelry pieces are also going to be with a magic recovery glyph as well to help our sustain. So our necklace is going to have Gloomgrace, and both of our rings are going to be his sap. Alright, on to see what the character sheet looks like. We're going to have 64 points into magic, And then we're going to be using the Atronach Mundus to also help our recovery on top of our glyphs on our jewelry. And then the food that we're going to be using is Artaeum Pickled Fish Bowl. This is going to increase your max health by 5,400 and your max magic by 4,900. So that's going to really help your sustain in general, and it's going to get those stats to be a lot bulkier. And then our stats are going to look like this. Our max magic is going to be almost 32k. Our max health is going to be almost 33k. And then our max stamina is going to be 18.3k. And our magic recovery is going to be 1659, which I think is really high in the DK, considering you have the passive from where you get all your resources back after using an ultimate. So having all that sustain is going to be really nice and lets you live a lot more in those long drawn out fights. So try and use your ultimate on cooldown if you can. It'll really be able to help your sustain, and you just won't lose your you won't lose all your stats really quickly. Then to look more at the stats, our spell damage on our front bar is going to be 2854, but that's not even close to being buffed up because you have the glyph proc on your front bar, you have degeneration, so it's going to get a lot higher. It's going to be closer to 4k when it's fully procced up. And then our resistances are going to look like this. Our spell resistance is going to be 29.3k. Our physical is going to be 23.8k. And our critical resist is going to be 2476. All of that I feel like is really tanky. And on top of that, all the heals over time that we have on our build is going to be really, really hard to kill you. You're going to be really tanky on this thing. Make sure you keep that armor buff up at all times to keep those resistances up though. And then onto our skills. Flame Lash is going to be your main spammable on your front bar. It's going to, a lot of people ask between either Flame Lash or Molten Whip. I prefer Flame Lash because if you look at the last line, you're going to get a large heal back when you hit somebody with a Power Lash, which is when you hit somebody off balance or immobilize. So that's going to really increase your damage on that ability. And it's also, you're going to get 13.4 health back over 2 seconds. And that can occur every 3 seconds. So that's almost it's a 1 second cooldown on that. So having that is going to really increase your healing on this build. So just having that is just more of a reason to use that when you're open world and fighting outnumbered. And then Fossilize is going to be your main CC that you're going to be using on this build. It goes through block, it goes through a lot of things. So it's my favorite CC in the entire game from any class. Please use Fossilize. Thank you. Degeneration, it's going to give you your major sorcery buff, so you're going to get that spell damage increased by 20%. Burning Embers, it's going to be a dot that you put on an enemy, but what's important about this is going to it's going to help your healing as well. So once the effect ends or you reapply it, you're going to get healed for 76% of the damage done. So if you do 10k damage, you're going to get healed for 7600 once the effect ends. So it's literally just free healing and a free dot on top of that. So make sure you're hitting your enemies with this at all times to make sure your healing gets up at all times. Then Ellie Drain is going to be what procs your Vatishron staff, and on top of that, you're going to be using it gives you Major Breach, so it reduces your enemy's physical and spell resistances by 6k. Then you also get minor Magic Steal, so you're also going to be getting magic resources back just by keeping that on your enemies too. So while you're damaging them, so just keep those dots on your enemy while this is up, and you're going to be getting some sustain back as well. And then your front bar ultimate is going to be Ferocious Leap. Just being able to turn into a dragon and after somebody's fossilized and just leap them, you're going to be hitting people so hard with that. And then on top of all the other dots that you have, kind of use this as an execute in a way, but don't be afraid to just use this on cooldown as well to help your sustain. And then your back bar, one of your heals is going to be Cauterize. You get healed for basically 5k every 5 seconds. So you can also give this to your allies as well, which is nice. That you can bail your friends out of situations and just be able to just spam this on them. It really helps them out a lot. And you also get that Major Prophecy bonus too. So your spell crit is really low on DK to begin with, so having something like this will help. Race Against Time is going to be your snare removal, so if you get hit by any of that stuff, just use this and you can get out of a situation so easily, especially with having triple swift on. You can get out of there so fast, so please use that whenever you're kiting from a situation or trying to catch up to somebody, or even just trying to get rid of any kind of snares in general. Use this. Try not to roll dodge as much, like out of talons or any kind of other things. Use Race Against Time to help you. Engulfing Flames is going to increase your flame damage done to other players, so try to open any fight with either Engulfing Flames or Burning Embers in order to either get your healing up on Burning Embers or to be able to start to have your damage get higher on Engulfing Flames, and you also get that dot on the enemy. So again, MagDK is very dot based, so having that's just another dot to put on your enemy. It's really nice. Coag, you have a build that's centered mostly around healing, but this is going to be your main heal for when you want to, when you're low and you need to get high, like you need to get your health up and you want to get back to 100. Say you're at like 30 or 40% health and you need to get your health up now. Coag is your burst heal that you want to use in those situations. In other situations, when your health is above like 70 to 80%, try and use Cauterize or let your passive healing do the work, or even that's when you activate your Burning Embers. And then Volatile Armor is going to be, almost every build needs a major resolve buff, so this is going to be your one for DK. This is going to give you your physical and spell resistance a boost by 6k. And then on your back bar, Spell Wall. I love this ultimate. It's the best defensive ultimate in the game, in my opinion. If you're taking a lot of pressure, you can just pop this, hit a Coag, and then you can apply your dots to the enemy, and you can just turn a fight just because you used one ultimate. So that's why I like Spell Wall. Alright, now onto the CP. Our CP is going to be relatively straightforward. Our blue slottables are going to be Master at Arms, Resilience, Duelist Rebuff, and Enduring Resolve. Having Enduring Resolve, Duelist Rebuff, and Resilience is all going to be defensive CPs that you put in. Again, you want to play more defensive. It's a very damage heavy patch, so having those are really going to help your survivability and your tankiness. Master at Arms, I think, is one of the best DPS kind of damage CP slottables in the game, so that's why I use that over other ones. And then also, as always, you don't really need that much CP anymore in the game. About like 1 to 1.2k is going to really max out all of your passives, so Eldritch Insight is definitely important, but also on top of that, you're going to want to have like Staving Death, where you have Hardy, Quick Recovery, and Element's Legis. And then also up here by Extended Might, having the Piercing, Flawless Ritual, and War Mage is all going to increase your damage and stuff. So definitely keep those on your bar at all times. And then in the red tree, our 4 main slottables are going to be Ironclad, Rejuvenation, Peace of Mind, and Juggernaut. So Juggernaut and Peace of Mind are almost under the same category. Juggernaut is going to reduce your damage taken while in crowd control immunity, and you're basically like that all the time in Cyrodiil. And if you're in any kind of extended fight, you're gonna get CC'd probably on cooldown, so having Juggernaut is really gonna help your damage reduced, and then also Peace of Mind is gonna help your magic recovery, so that's why I use both of those. And then on top of that, there are a lot of other important passives in here. Some of the really important ones are Mystic Tenacity, Tumbling, and Defiance. Hero's Vigor is very important too. Getting an extra 560 health is really kind of huge. And then onto our green tree. There's really only 3 important things in the green tree that you need, and that's Rationer, Liquid Efficiency, and this one's not a slottable, it's just a regular passive, Breakfall. I say this every single build video, please use Breakfall. Have that be your #1 choice of points in the green tree. Those are the 50 most important points in this tree. Please, 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 please use that. Alright guys, and that's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you do use this build in PvP, let me know how it goes for you in the comments below. And again, as always, if you didn't, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you want to see this build live in action, you can catch me live at twitch.tv/Sekaar. I stream almost every night, so come see the build video in action. And that is it. See you guys next time. Later.